There we go. Hi everyone. So I am here. I am live. Actually, Yeah, okay. I want that to live chat. There we go. So yeah, today is my 27th birthday. Um, Also, it is Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to everybody that's in the chat. That's a father, or if you happen to be a mother that has to take on those duties yourself, then to you as well. Um, so if you don't know, my name is Katarina, and I'm a big automotive fan. I love all shapes and sizes of cars. My specialty is classics. I work on them. I have my own project car, which is my '81 Mustang. The '86 is I have it for sale, but we'll see if I actually sell it or not. It's just one of those things. I don't really want to sell it. I might have to, but regardless, it is what it is. So yeah, but honestly, it's just been a fantastic day overall. Like, haven't really done much other than like I'm here in Edmonton, and the thing is, um, sorry, just brain's not working. So I got a text yesterday from a friend of mine, Braden, to ask if um I could try and help him out with getting a parts car that he just picked up towed to his house. Which I'm like, sure, I can help with that, so it's not a big deal. Just ask my buddy Keith, who happens to, I'm in his house currently. Ask him if he wants to do that and whatever else, and so we did. It's been pouring rain all day long. It's really bad, to be honest. Um, my car is not really good in the rain. Like, it's one thing for like traction and stuff like that. Like, I slide a bit, but it's fine. I'm used to that in the car. However, there is the whole thing of, well, I have bad window seals. And so, especially if I'm wet, like I am kind of wet right now, to be honest, but I'm drying off slowly. Um, that it fogs up really bad in the car, and so I really just need to get those seals replaced, and then it shouldn't do that. And thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. It's like I said, it's been a pretty good day overall. But like we picked up for my buddy Braden a '88 Thunderbird, and it's still technically a Fox body because they didn't change to the MN12 platform until a year later, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it was a year later, '89 or 1990. Just mine's drawing a blank. And those are like the really big Thunderbirds because they're no longer Fox based at that point. With the MN12 platform, started with Lincoln, if I remember correctly, and then the Thunderbird went on that platform, and so did the Cougar. Thank you so much, Mustang guy. Really do appreciate that. And it's like basically spent the day as a passenger for the most part, driving out there to pick this car up, and then got back here. Just got back here about 30-40 minutes ago, to be honest. So, it's been a long day, and like we left here at about 2 o'clock, so it took a while for stuff, but it's all good. And it's been just pouring rain all day long. It's the conditions aren't great, to be honest. And like I said, in my car, it's not great to drive in these rainy conditions. It's not so much like because visibility is a little bad, and my car has bad window seals, so it fogs up, and just stuff like that. But other than that, it's really not too bad because even like the hydroplaning that I experience isn't horrible. You know, I typically don't slide out too badly, but it's because I know better. As soon as I start to feel it slide, I just let off the gas and counter steer, right? And that's fine. But that's the one thing that I learned to do that just by playing with my car in the winter time by my house. So Yeah, sorry. I'm watching a show at the same time, and ooh, he just smacked his Corvette into the wall there. Jeez. So I'm actually watching the show. It's on Netflix called Hyperdrive. I've seen it before, but it's just like, yeah, you know what? Why not watch it again? Cause I can't find where actually Keith has his Disney Plus because there's other shows I want to watch too. Overall, it's not too bad to be honest. I'm just tired to be honest. Just really tired. Because yesterday I was working the dyno day, and like the thing is with the dyno, um, there was some really cool vehicles that went through the dyno and a very very powerful fox body. The video's up on YouTube if you want to check that out. There's a YouTube short and the long version of the video as well, which is just really good. Um, and the amount of power it made is just insane, especially since it's a small block Ford. Like it's a 302 base block. Now it's an aftermarket block because there's no way a stock block would hold up to the kind of power. Even if it happens to be an early 302 block, it would not hold up to the power that thing made. And it's just incredible because the guy was being a little coy with the details. But he did tell me that yeah, it's 302 based. But it's we're good. I did. Sorry, hang on, I'm trying to clear my throat. Hi, Tim. Thank you so much. Um, and thank you, Snails. Do really appreciate that. And oh, absolutely. I love to see when people like, because there was somebody that commented on I think it was the YouTube short of it, and said that, oh yeah, uh, that same sort of setup, you'd have 1,400 horsepower. It's like, and what's your point? Just because you can like, and technically, that wasn't even to the full potential of that engine in that car. Reason being is that Fox body, which happened to be an Aero GT, bit of a beater, and it was just kind of cool because it's very much a sleeper. Now you can tell it's modified, but it does not seem like when you look at the car, at least before you look under the hood and stuff like that. It just looks like a modified Fox body, right? That might have 400 horsepower or so, just because of how it is. Like with the sorry, just my brain's not working here. I apologize. And by the way, thank you so much for the likes, and I definitely appreciate the shout out from Tim there to say that. But here's the thing: his car still wasn't at its full potential yet, because I don't know what the block can necessarily take or the internals can take that he had done to it, right? But he was only on 94 octane. The thing is, 94 octane, and he made 1,110 horsepower and 1,347 foot-pounds of torque. Which, if you know anything about a small block, it's like small block Ford, you wouldn't think that's possible. But no, he did it, and it's great. The guy built it all himself, and if you look at it, because it looks like, okay, the interior is stripped out. It's got a roll cage in it. It's got some racing seats in it. And, it's not that loud at the back. Like, obviously those turbos, which are twin 76mm turbos, are going to silence the exhaust quite a bit. Which, again, adds to that whole sleeper charm of it. Right? And again, because, like, it wasn't in, like, super amazing shape. Like, the paint was all kind of messed up, whatever else. There was some damage to the bumpers and stuff. And it was just really cool to see it like that. And I love a good sleeper like that, because even though it's a modified car, but you don't realize how modified that car is until you look under the hood. And thank you so much for the birthday wishes. I definitely appreciated it, everyone. It's just, it was just been a really fun weekend overall. And anytime that I get to mess around with cars on a weekend, I love it. I love it. Um, you know, I like my car because yeah, I need to change the oil in my car, which I need to pick up some oil and a filter, but do that. And like something I do want to do, it's been too rainy to try and do any videos. Um, is because we picked up a 1990 GMC Sierra, or actually were they called the Sierra at that point? I can't remember, but half-ton truck, and it's a shitbox and a half. It's hilarious. Um, the thing is, that car, it's got so it was originally a 6.5 diesel truck. It now has a Nissan SD33 diesel, I believe, out of a forklift, just because it's painted yellow. So that would be my guess as to what it came out of, probably like a Nissan forklift, to be honest. It's an inline six, I believe it's 4 liters. Um, and it doesn't really fit in the engine bay all that well. So what they actually did to mount this thing in is it's at an angle because the front cooler, like for the cooling lines, the front tube, which happens to be, it's not a hose, it's straight up a tube. Um, they had to put it at an angle, and they even zip tied the tube to the rad so that it wouldn't actually fully hit the rad. It's like, what? There is, for this truck, because I put a little video on how to cold start the thing. It's hilarious, to be honest. How you cold start it, or how you just start it in general. Not even just cold start. Cold start in general. You take there's a wire, and gotta remember, it's a full mechanical diesel, so you don't need a bunch of wires or anything. There's no electronics. There's nothing. It's just full mechanical, right? As long as you have 12 volts to turn that starter, it'll go. That's it. That's all you need. It's awesome. But you take that, like I believe that wire is straight to the starter, and you put that on the battery terminal, the positive side, it'll start to crank over. And then once, it turns enough, it'll fire up. We did need to use a bunch of brake clean to get it started in that, but what we found out was it wasn't so good because somebody at the auction decided to the primer pump decided to pull it out, which was like no wonder it was having so many problems. So we just pushed it back, like turned it, pushed it back in, no big deal, and now it should start pretty easily. It's got a hood stack. Well, I say hood stack. There's no hood on it. Period. It's just too funny, and it's just gonna be a fun car to screw around with on here on YouTube. And I'll probably do some TikTok videos and even Instagram videos, as for that matter, on it as well, because it's just too funny, right? But unfortunately, just due to time constraints and whatever else, I wasn't able to film my buddy Kirby's collection of cars, and he's got an immense collection of cars. He's got a GMC Cyclone, he has a GLHS Omni, he has a Grand National, a Buick GNX, he's got a Celine Mustang, an SAAC Shelby Mustang from 89. He's also got a GLX convertible Mustang. It's about an 83 84. And he also has an SVO Mustang. And then he actually picked this up not too long ago, an 82 Chrysler LeBaron sedan with about 32,000 kilometers on it. Just incredible collection, to be honest. And, like the LeBaron is usually not one of those things of that I'd be like excited about, but it's just how clean it is and how low mileage it is. That's the stuff that really like kind of excites me and gets me going, of seeing a car that nobody really cares about, but yet it's preserved so well. And all of his cars are like in really good shape, to be honest. He doesn't really do the kind of beater thing like I'm doing. But that's the one thing with my 81 Mustang is I am actually thinking potentially, because I was gonna paint it, but I keep getting comments of people loving the patina, and I mean, to be honest, I like the patina too. And I might just fix the body up to where a lot of the dents are kind of gone. Fix any of the rust that's in it, because there's a couple places of rust that I do need to fix on the car. Nothing too bad, but it's just a couple of minor holes in the body, and then clear coat the car. Now, I would want to change out the passenger door and get like one of those color matched rattle cans to paint the door with. And just do it that way. It'd be so cool, right? And it'd be a very unique look. It has a unique look as it is, but then have it looking shiny, gloss, clear coat. I think it would look really good. But I mean, again, I'm still thinking about it. It's one of those deals where I'm just not sure what I want to do 100%. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I do a full paint job on the car, which again, it's not going to be a perfect paint job anyways, because I can't afford to do that. It's just going to be kind of a down and dirty paint job where I scuff majority of the body and I do the paint myself. And mind you, I've never painted a full car before. I've only painted small panels or rattle can. Never with a full like air compressor and an air gun. So regardless though, like even the clear coat I'd be doing myself. But the clear coat would cost a lot less and give you a more unique look. Even though there's really not another Fox body that I know of that looks like mine. With the gray on the blue and the red on the bottom. Just cover it with a rag. Well, see, the one thing is, like, because with the patina, the beauty of the patina look is that I can just leave it as it is for the most part, excluding like a couple of areas where I'd have to touch up. And it's got just like this perfect look right now to where, yeah, I could just spray it with that. Thank you so much, Barracuda. Definitely appreciate it. And I don't know if I've actually seen you in the chat ever, or even comments. Or if I have, I apologize. It's just I see a lot of comments, but you know, there's always my main people which have jumped in the chat and I've seen, and then there's some other people that just jump in. So regardless, welcome to the live stream. I definitely appreciate you coming out, and thank you so much for the birthday wishes. It's been a pretty good day overall. I really I haven't done much. Like I said, just picked up a T-bird for a friend of mine and just towed it to his house. That's all I did today. I haven't done anything else, and I got some Dairy Queen for myself for dinner, so why not? And my breakfast was Boston pizza that I had left over from last night. So. Oh yeah, and see, and that's the one thing, because for so long, I had everybody asking me, when are you gonna paint it? 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 And then now I have so many people that just want me to keep the patina. And it's interesting of, how opinions change. And it might just be the fact that when I put those big tires on my car, right? Because the current wheel and tire package, along with the louvers and the whale tail, definitely kind of complete the look. But I would still love to put because the thing is, if I do the clear coat, the only thing is I'd want to change some of the stuff. Like, I would love to have Capri fenders and quarters on it. That'd be really cool. And actually, because I met a guy, and I'd have to see if I can find his info again, but I'm sure I could. He actually has the license plate because he did Capri fenders on a notchback like mine, and he had the license plate and it said Capri, which is so cool. I like that, and I want that license plate. He still has it. It's not on a car, but he has it. Ah, fair enough. I didn't realize Brailsford was live, so no worries. That's totally fine. And the one thing is, I'm not necessarily upset if people leave to do other things. That's totally fine. Because the one thing is with my live streams, it's just me here. There's never really been guests on my channel. I do want to do that eventually, but I have to coordinate it. Because who knows? I'm actually up here in Edmonton. Maybe I can get Roy Marco to hop on a live stream one of these times, or even just you know maybe take him, like, bring him here, and we can just go live together, side by side, and chat here or whatever. It'd be kind of cool because he's a guy that I don't get to see that often. We don't communicate all that much, but when we do, it's basically like, "Hey, are you around? Would love to come see you." That's all it is, and it's just kind of nice. But unfortunately, just with all the rain, because I would have liked to see him this weekend, but there was just way too much rain to really do anything, right? And all of his stuff is outside. So, you know, and well, we can hang out in the house and stuff like that. It's nicer to just be outside with the cars, right? But I do want to do other things like that, and yeah. Oh, hey, well, here's the thing, Mustang guy. You can actually do it off your phone. Like, this is my phone. It's my phone on a tripod. That's it. It's plugged into the wall because I need it to charge. But it's one of those things. And, I mean, it helps, when you have a more feminine figure for that, if that's what you're into, women, so that makes perfect sense. But yes. I would probably agree that I'm more attractive than Brailsford. But, he's a good guy. And, yeah, like, I can, because there's a feature when I do go live that I can press this button to go live together, which I don't know how it works. I've never tested it. I've never done anything with it. I don't know if it just, there's a thing to go join on, like, if something is up on the screen and it says, hey, you can click here to join, and then I have to accept it, or how does it work? Do I invite certain creators to be on here? I just don't really know. Fair enough. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure. Oh wait, do you have the? I'm pretty sure you have the subscribers to go live off of a phone, don't you? Because I can't remember, to be honest. I thought you had at least 1,000 subscribers. But which, it's so dumb that they have that. It's just like, why is that a thing when you can literally use a program like StreamYard to bypass all of that and go live anyways? So I don't know why YouTube puts these restrictions in that you can't go live until a certain, uh, or at least go live off your phone until you have a certain amount of subscribers. It makes zero sense to me. And okay, I for some reason I thought you had more than that. Yeah. I thought you did, but oh, but yeah, I mean, if you keep posting, you'll grow. I've actually been growing quite a bit in subscribers anyways. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to beat Novataz to 3,000 subs at this point, because I am inching ever closer and he's not going up very much. Because the one thing is, I post so often and he just doesn't as much. But he also refuses to do YouTube Shorts, which, well, that's to his detriment, because, if he did with his vehicles, he could actually get a lot more viewers, too. It's interesting. I don't quite understand, because why wouldn't you use as much of the resources as you can to actually get bigger and get more views, right? But to each their own, I suppose. Because he's at, I think, 2970, and I'm like 2,920 something. I think it's 23 or so. So and I've gained the I think the most subscribers I have in a month. Um, you know, just lately, and it's interesting because the videos I've done haven't really been getting a ton of views, other than one, which happens to be that um, there's a video that I did on a 73 Chrysler New Yorker. Now, I did get some of the details a little wrong in the video, but it's so minor, and many people have like pointed it out. And there was one guy being an absolute jerk. Um, you know, it's one of those things, and that still blows my mind that people can have that many subscribers just because the whole sub for sub thing, right? Which we definitely love and appreciate your support there, Tim. It's amazing. You are an amazing support system, to be honest, on here, because you don't get you know don't get people like you that often, because a lot of people that tune into these sort of things typically have channels, right? Like, obviously, Mustang Guy does, Roy Marco does, Novataz does, of course, even my buddy Teen Mechanic. He's got a channel as well, which is of course Teen Mechanic. Now, I don't know the last time he actually posted a video, but he's been so busy. So, um, but I have said that if he gets his butt out to Sundry, he can do a bunch of videos out there. He can drive my car, because he can actually drive stick. He's not too bad. To be honest, I kind of just put him in the car, and because the one thing is, if somebody doesn't have, or you just don't know their sort of skill with driving stick, the easiest thing to do is have them jump in the car, put it in first gear, have the clutch down, and just let them feel where the clutch actually hits, right? Mine's super high up. It's so nice for that. Because to actually engage the clutch, I don't have to, stomp on the clutch. In fact, I can depress it by not a ton, and I can just bang shift really quickly. And I love it. It's just the way I have the clutch cable set up and everything, and just how it works. And it's great. Because I have the billet quadrant in my car too, so I could actually set it up that way. And that's just what I like. With the Hirsch short shifter in it too, just going gear to gear, it's so nice to shift. Plus, I put synchro mesh in the transmission and never look back. Because typically in T5s, people put Dextron fluid in it, and there's nothing wrong with Dextron. But like people like put Dextron basic or typically in their T5s. But honestly, if you have a T5 and if you have Dextron in it, go to Synchro Mesh. You'll never look back. You will never look back with Synchro Mesh. It's just so nice. Thank you, Dean. I do appreciate that. Um, you know, it's been a good day overall, and just I'm just really tired. It's been a long day, very long day. Good day, a long day. And yeah, like I'm here at my buddy's place in Edmonton, and just watching Hyperdrive and having a good time. And because like that's one thing, because I haven't really watched this show in a while. Like, I watched it when it first came out in 2019, and I saw all the episodes, but it's always nice to kind of rewatch stuff that you've seen before. Like, I am in the middle of actually rewatching Star Wars Rebels on Disney Plus. To kind of remind myself of what goes on before the Ahsoka show. So, which the Ahsoka show is coming out pretty soon too. But Sorry, I'm just trying to think of what I'll say because my mind is just kind of blanking at the moment. But I am, I'm just very happy with the support and everything that I've gotten from you guys, and as well for any of you in the chat that happen to be fathers, happy Father's Day as well. Because not only my birthday, I can share some of the spotlight and stuff like that. Uh. Yeah, like that's the one thing, because everybody with their T5s, like they put the Dextron ATF in it, but realistically, and you can do that, it's fine. It just you won't get as smooth of shifts as if you put Synchromesh, which now it's about double the money. Synchromesh, I think it cost me just over $60 to put Synchromesh in it, where if it was ATF, it would have been right around $30. But because it only takes about 3 quarts, right? But yeah, just overall though, I am just quite excited for what's coming to the channel and what's going on. Like I am. There's gonna be another Dino Day that I'm gonna be at. Actually, if anybody happens to be in Alberta, July 8th, I will be in. I believe it's Strathmore at a Dino Day, and I'll be working the dino. So if you want to come out, come check it out. It'll be a great day. Um, and it just should be a lot of fun. But yeah, um, because like with my car, I even some news to share with you guys. I am actually getting a really nice header built by a friend of mine, and it should be really awesome. It's a turbo header, and he's down in Oregon. My buddy Brian, he's been in the chat a few times. He's left some comments, and he's a good friend of mine. And yeah, he's gonna build me this header, and then we're gonna bolt my IHI AS12 onto it, which is a little diesel turbo that's 46 millimeters. That realistically is only for about 8 to 10 pounds of boost, give or take. Which I only want to run it with like 8 pounds of boost, anyways, right? Because basically, with this car, all I want to do is when I'm done with it, because I want good fuel economy out of there. That's number one. Number two, I want to beat up on stock Aero Fox bodies with the 5 liters in them. And then, well, I mean, that's basically it, to be honest, the two things. But also, I want it to be reliable too. Because there comes a point where if you do this stuff, it can be unreliable. And I just don't need that in my life because this is my daily driver. I do have other vehicles technically, like I have my 86 Mustang, although she's currently not registered at the moment. She's still insured, but not registered. Because I can't really afford to drive her. I've got my Dakota, which is actually here, or my 2004 Dakota. And there's obviously my parts car, but I don't really count that because yes, it does run and drive, but it's not legal for the road. Period. It's got no doors. It's got almost no interior in it. It's got no lights in it. It's got no hood, no fenders. It's a great, great little car. It's hilarious to drive, and it'd be kind of fun to build a race car out of it, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, other than that, because like out here, it's interesting though. Hey, I would happily race anybody when I'm done with my car. I will 100% race anybody with a stock style 302 that doesn't have anything done to it. because that's my benchmark, right? Of the aero cars, is to beat one of those, 100%. And thank you so much. I think I just saw. Hang on. Let me just see the names. Thank you so much, T. Scott, George, and Charles Reeds, for the birthday wishes. It's been a pretty good day overall. A little bit of a long day, tiring day, very wet day because it is still raining. Although right now I think actually it's not. Let's take a look. Yeah, I think it actually finally stopped raining. Unless if that's, it did stop raining. So, yay! Because yeah, it was just, it's been pouring rain for most of the day. It's interesting because like in this house, when it's like raining and especially a little hard, like you can hear it quite a bit on the house. It's just a trailer, right? It's nothing too fancy, but he did get this place painted and got new carpet and new flooring installed, so it's actually quite a nice little trailer now. But something, the '86 Mustang that I had on the channel for a while, not my convertible. This is Keith's red '86 notchback. I drove it. I did a couple of videos on it, I believe. Sadly, doesn't start, and I wonder why. Oh, geez, I am sorry to hear that. Obviously you're okay, but yikes, that's an interesting way to break your finger when you trip and fall and you break your finger. That sucks though, because you don't realize like how much you actually use your fingers, right? Or like because it seems so minor, but in fact, like you use your hands and fingers all the time. It's kind of like oddly enough, like breaking a toe would really be horrible too, because your feet are always doing something, right? I mean, not necessarily sitting here, I suppose, compared to my hands, but you know what I mean, right? But it's just one of those things, and like I love my cars and everything. Oh, like surgery on your finger on Wednesday, or is there another surgery? I apologize. You may have told me before. I can't remember. Or is that just for your finger? And 100%, we always take things for granted. Everybody does. Doesn't matter who it is. Okay, fair enough. Well, I mean, it should go good, but fingers crossed. Now the big question is, which finger is it? Is it your index finger? Is it your pinky? Is it your ring finger? Is it your thumb? Is it this one? Okay, left index. Okay. That's an annoying one. To break, because it's like your index fingers, especially like some of your main fingers to do stuff. Like even I don't know if you're a gamer or not, but like playing video games with a controller, again, you're using your left index finger all the time to aim and shoot or throw grenades or whatever. Um, yeah, that's rough. Because I thought about even just jumping on the PS5 because he actually has a PS5 here. Nice. Well, and that's the one thing that's good at least. Um, what you think that that's good. That's good. Um, but actually, it's something. Programming. Yeah, so you definitely use your index finger a lot. Then I'm sure a lot more than majority of us, I suppose. Um, but one thing is, what's interesting. So it's the first time I've ever actually seen one. So at the Dino Day yesterday, because it wasn't just a Dino Day, it was also um a it was a car show as well, right? And I had my car there, and I didn't really talk to many people about my car because I wasn't standing by my car because I was working the dyno, right? Um, it's just one of those things, and it was a good time at the show, but like there are some cool cars there because what's interesting is that show was more of like your import slash European show. A lot of Volkswagens, but that shop actually are Volkswagen specialists. So it's one of those things that it's not surprising. The fact that the coolest sort of car, other than that Mustang that did make over 1,000 horsepower, was actually a 1960 Volkswagen bus. It was so cool because this vehicle had instead of the original, it would have been like I think 1,100 cc or maybe even 1,200 cc, making approximately 40 horsepower. It had a 2,300 cc engine that, granted, he did change the heads on it, so instead of it being 11-to-1 compression, no, I have not seen that video. To be honest, but what I was talking about though, sorry, I got sidetracked by that comment. I have not seen that video. But the thing is, the this thing, like, it made, I think it was like 117 wheel horsepower, which is pretty good, and it's cool to see a very nice condition Volkswagen bus. It was the red on black. It was just immaculate. And the one thing is, being a 1960, it doesn't have signal lights, but rather it has these things called semaphores, which they were an amber lens with a bulb inside of it, and when you hit the signal light, it would pop out for your signal lights, right? Which is so cool to see semaphores. And it's really the first time I've properly seen them because I've never really paid as much attention to them that way, right? So it's one of those things, and it's just really cool, and I like semaphores. Now, the only thing that would worry me about having semaphores on a vehicle is the fact that most people that are on the road are not going to know that those are signal lights, right? Because they're used to, hey, these flashing lights that are on the front and rear of your vehicle. Instead, the semaphores are just on the sides. They're tucked into the bodywork, and then when you turn them on, like say I'm turning left, it would flip out like that. And like I said, it's an orange lens on it that is kind of at a curve like that, kind of like that. And there's a bulb inside of there. That's all it is, and it's so cool. Oh, thank you so much for the birthday wish, and happy early birthday, Mark. That's really awesome. We June babies are the best. Right? It's just so much fun. I love, absolutely love the support I have on here. So thank you guys all so much. It's you know just a lot of fun to bring the content to y'all, and I just hope that I'm always able to do this. I don't ever want to stop, and I just keep hitting higher and higher heights with videos. Now, there's some videos that still completely crash and burn. Like, I am quite shocked that Fox body on the dyno video actually has not done quite as well as I thought it would. Just because of the kind of, calling it a sleeper and saying, it makes over 1,000 horsepower. I thought that would have done better, but it hasn't. But that's okay. Right? Like, it's just that stuff that you know, you just surprised because like what I've doing YouTube for as long as I have, at the frequency that I've posted videos, it's interesting because the videos that you think are gonna do really well typically don't do quite as good. Like what blows my mind is so that 73 Chrysler New Yorker that I did a video on, it's like over 1,700 views, which I didn't expect that. I expected two, maybe 300 views on that video, to be honest. But that one has done the best. I thought that the Civic was going to do the best, but no, it's got a little over 600 views. But that one is actually my second best video out of all the cars that I filmed at my buddy Corey's place. Because there's one I haven't uploaded, but I don't know if I will. It's not a great quality video. It's just I kind of ran out of energy, and it's just not great. So it's one of those things though, like being out in the hot weather, I just could not. I just didn't hold up to the heat quite as well. I had to keep taking a bunch of breaks and stuff like that, and that's the problem when it's really hot. At least the only thing I'll say about the sprain, it's annoying to deal with, but at the same time, it is so much nicer than it being like 30, 40 degrees outside because, my body just does not tolerate heat near as well. And I wish it did, but, gone are the days of that. There we go. That's all done. But yeah, so it's one of those things. It's a little interesting, and even like I did that video on the 84 anniversary edition GT350. I thought that would have done a little better too, but it really hasn't. And it's just a little interesting. Oh, hey, no worries. I definitely appreciate you coming out to the live, and thank you so much for your support. And thank you for the birthday wishes, and thank you, actually, Chris, for the birthday wish there. It's been just like a good day overall. Not a very eventful day. I haven't done what I normally do, which is, go out to a restaurant, maybe see a movie. I haven't done any of that. It's literally been picking up a buddy's car, and I got myself dinner. I paid for it myself, which, it's usually like my dad, but today, like, I would have actually been in at the family festival down in Water Valley, but it was just way too much rain to really want to drive through, and especially like if I'm wet, all the windows are just gonna be fogged up, which I had that issue yesterday especially, and I had a little bit of it earlier, but I was only going not far away from here to Dairy Queen, so it wasn't too bad. But when you're traveling 40, 50 kilometers to somewhere, well, you want to have more visibility, of course. But I don't necessarily recommend anybody do what I do in that regard. If your windows are fogging up, please pull over and get those things unfogged. But because my window seals are bad. That's the reason why my interior fogs up if I happen to be wet inside the car. Just the moisture inside fogs up the window, right? So it's just one of those deals, right? But I do what I do because I love what I do, right? I love these old cars. I love playing with all these old cars. It is just fun. But there are downsides to old cars, 100%. They can be potentially unreliable. Though depending on the car, like I personally say that my 81 Mustang will outlast anything on the road today. Just with minor maintenance. I might have to do an adjustment here or adjustment there. Sometimes cold starting is a bit of a pain in the ass, but that's kind of the air filter I have on it too. Doesn't help. So yeah, that's one thing. Because I am gonna swap to my other air filter because I found out with that air filter it doesn't really fit on my engine that well. Be- um, because so the air filter that I have currently on the car happens to be the Edelbrock style 14-inch air filter that has the filter on top, the filter on the sides, and a filter on the bottom. But it actually hits the hood. As I just found out the other day, I'm like, where did these scratches come from? Then I look and go, oh, there's an indent in my hood. Okay. So that's something that I'll have to do. Is swap the air filter back to my Ford Racing one because it never did have issues with that one. Um, and it's just not quite as good of a filter because it's not the it's just a paper filter. But I can always swap that filter for something else as long as it's the same size. That's all that matters, right? I just have to look into that because I can ditch the frame and just have like a K&N style or a Spectre or whatever. Because I like those reusable filters. The only problem is that when they are bad, they're definitely a lot worse than a just a paper filter in that regard. But it's pretty easy to clean them, and then few out like you use the cleaning kit, you wash it out, you get as much of the material out as you can, you put the spray on it, like the oil and the other spray, and then you're good. You just let that dry, and then you put it back on the car. But yeah, I am just you know, it's just surprising of with like sorry, my brain's just not working here. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate the birthday wishes. It's a it's just a good time, really good time. And yeah, I'm just really tired, so I apologize if I'm just losing my words and stuff too. Um, it's just one of those deals, right? And that's what I deal with, and it is what it is. Um, Especially when I'm tired, like it makes my pots a lot worse when it comes to the brain fog. Because yeah, like could I fall asleep right now? Yeah, probably, but I'm not going to. But yeah, and if anybody has anything they want to say or any questions for me, let me know. I'll be happy to answer questions as long as they're not weird. Because there are so many people that are like. In fact, I had a person emailing me and just being a freaking knob and a weirdo. I and I just told him you don't have to comment some of your stuff. Uh, oh, that honestly, like that'd be such a cool job just to work for Holly. Working on carburetors, maybe working on their injection system, or even as just like a the sales team or promotions. Something like that. It'd be cool. I mean, if Holly wanted to sponsor me, like I wouldn't say no. Getting Holly intakes and Holly carbs and stuff. And who knows, maybe I can convince them, hey, you guys should build like a intake that you can adapt to an inline six. Yeah, to an inline six. Let's go. It's not going to happen. There's just not as much. There's just not enough market for Holly to do that, right? They wouldn't do anything, to be honest. They would. I don't even think they would reply. It's just one of those deals that it'd be cool, but yeah, Holly has. Oh, what? No, I'm still here. Doesn't show that there's a problem. Like, let's see. Is there? No, I'm not showing. It's not showing me any issues with the stream at all. Oh, okay. So there was something that happened. Sorry, I can't. I guess it was it. So if you had to refresh, it wasn't my end. That would have been YouTube itself. Yeah, sorry. And I think I just saw Crazy for Cars. Thank you so much for the birthday wish. I really do appreciate it. It's it's just a good time overall. And like I had an issue actually, cause like last night I had to sign out really quick just cause the people who live here came home, and I knew I wasn't gonna be able to do the stream for much longer. So yeah, that's obviously YouTube because like I said, it's not my internet's fine here. It's really good, and it's not telling me that there's problems. So because otherwise it would. That's so cool. Yeah, sorry. I'm watching the show. It's on Netflix called Hyperdrive, and it's basically about these people who bring their cars and they do all these stunts on the show, whatever else, and get around the course as quick as they can. Um, and it's just really cool. And the one thing is, like, there was a guy in a Lamborghini Huracan, and that he had the top time. But then Sarah Harrow, which actually I'm a fan of hers to be honest, she is really cool. She drives an S197 with a V6 that's built for as a drift car. It doesn't really make a ton of power, but she just beat the Lambo's time by almost like about a second and a half. So that's just really cool. See that, and like I said, as soon as I saw this show, I've been a fan of hers, and actually I do follow her on social media. So, yeah, she's just really awesome. And like I don't know if she still is a truck driver, but she was a truck driver when she was on the show, and then she just built her car on the side. Oh, that's cool. Actually, yesterday when leaving, so when coming back here, to the house, I actually came across a Huracan that was in the pouring rain. It was quite surprising to see. This one was not a Spider. It was green coupe or green hardtop, I suppose. It was really cool to see because it's like I always look at those. And speaking of Lamborghinis, when I was at the car show / dyno day, I actually saw a orange Mercy Roadster. Like seeing a Murcielago, it's just like that is so cool. It's the first one I've ever seen, and obviously he had the roof off because that toupee not only looks bad but is also really a pain in the ass to install. So yeah, it was really cool. And thank you, Charles. I really do appreciate the birthday wish. But just seeing a Mercy, it's really neat. And I'm just one of those people that I like a lot of things. I do like Lamborghinis. I do like Ferraris. I just don't like Ferrari as a company because Ferrari is just a bunch of tool bags, to be honest, that run that company. Like if they don't like what you do with their car, they can send you a cease and desist because of whatever reason they can come up with. It's just ridiculous that they sue all their just everybody. Nice. Like, to be honest, a Mira is such a beautiful and nice car. Like, the Mira was the first considered supercar, which is kind of funny because it's not really that fast compared to modern vehicles. Like, yeah, it had, I think, about 400 horsepower or so. And it was Lamborghini's first mid-engine car, because their first car was the 3500 GT, which, you look at it, the 3500 GT is not really a pretty looking car. And what's interesting is the Mira was actually sort of built in secret, sort of after hours, whatever else, and then Ferruccio Lamborghini figured it out. Basically, when the car was just about done, and he just like, I love this. We're gonna put this into production, and so they did, and that's how the Mira was born. And thank you so much for the birthday wish, Shade Tree. Really do appreciate it. Like, it's been a pretty good day overall. Just really tired, but that's one of those things. Yesterday was a very tiring day. It was a long day, working the dyno all day, and it was nice because it wasn't that hot. It was just sort of overcast all day. So I think that did scare away some people. Like, there were still some very nice cars. Actually, who parked beside me, it was really cool, was an Arrow Fox body that actually was dressed up like a police car, but it was a drift car. So that was really cool to see, and just how it was done and everything. And it actually had authentic vintage from about the 80s or so. Police lights up top. There we go. I could not. Yeah, I can show that. This is another what? Now it says, sorry T Scott, your message was held for review. I tried to press show, but it says another moderator took care of it. I don't even have a moderator in the chat right now, to my knowledge. What the heck? Interesting, because that comment, because it's not a bad comment. It's just when the YouTube censors, though, if they see that, I can see why they would flag it for me to review. But it's just kind of funny. But actually, I need a drink, and I have some drink right here. So, I'm not drinking alcohol. But... hey, it's all good. Like I said, I'm not upset about it at all. Like, if that happens, it happens. It's just, for any cussing, try to keep it down on the channel, because even though I do cuss from time to time, it's one of those things that I try not to. So, yeah, and I do need to see actually that comment, because I did not see that because I was busy there. Oh, that's really cool. I love that. I would love my car, like me and my car, to be kind of immortalized in that way. That'd be really neat. Now, of course, I am, because I'm on YouTube, right? But it's just one of those things to have, like a permanent sort of thing would be really neat. And it's fun. Right? And it's fun doing what I do. Being here on YouTube is just such joy. And I can't wait to show you guys what's coming next. And actually, I'm getting my fog lights replaced because I have another set of fog lights to install in the car, which I'm going to move them out and we're gonna rewire it because the way it was wired was not proper. So I fully admit that. But basically, we're going to because it's just a prong that was stuck in between a couple fuses or between a fuse, so not the best idea. And it did kind of backfire, but then as well, I actually shattered the fog lights on the dyno coming off of it. It was just so steep of an angle that it just smashed, and we weren't really paying attention. I was the first run of the day, and it happened. I wasn't too upset about it, a little annoyed, but it is what it is. I didn't really pay a lot of money for them, so it didn't bother me. But the new fog lights that I have are actually worn. I think they're more floodlights as opposed to fog lights. But I'm going to turn them into proper fog lights by doing a simple little thing. And that thing happens to involve. Sorry, just brain's not working here. Is I'm going to tint the lenses just with like VHT sort of yellow tint paint and turn them into fog lights. Because the one thing is, I can actually use fog lights because I actually deal with a lot of fog, and especially when it like rains like it has for the past couple of days, it's really worth having proper fog lights because it just makes your vision so much better. So that'll be coming soon. I'm gonna be installing those the subframe connectors soon too. Ah, that's cool. A Highway Patrol SSP. That's really cool. I've only seen one in person, and it's just really, really neat to see them because those old cop cars are just so cool. And actually, there's a collection of cop cars that I need to get out and film because that's the thing. That's this guy's thing. It's also his business where he'll rent out cop cars. But he's got, cop cars from the 50s, 60s, into the 70s, and even 80s. It's really, really cool. But I'm just really excited for like stuff to come because, like I said, I will be like putting the turbo on the car, which doesn't have any stock internals, and the only thing that I have to worry about is the so I have two bad oil seals with the valves, so I need to get those done before I turbo the car. So what's probably going to happen is when I get that the header sent to me, I'm going to build a block off plate for now just to over the where the turbo would mount, and then just have it as a regular sort of thing, a header, and actually get it dynoed and seeing what it does, and then look into getting the oil seals in my head fixed and going from there. Because the one thing is, cylinders 5 and cylinder 6 actually do use a little bit of oil, because I do sorry, brain's just not working here. So, and with a turbo setup especially, because you're putting more air through the head and stuff, is it will push out valve seals, guaranteed. Like oil seals and stuff like that, or not valve seals, but like oil seals, right? So it's something that with a turbo as well, you do not want to have it where it's going to be like burning oil with the car, because like, yeah, my car burns just a tiny bit of oil. It's not much. And the only reason why I know cylinders 5 and cylinder 6 do that is because I can pull the spark plugs out and, hey, look, there's oil on the threads. There shouldn't be, right? You pull spark plugs and it should be just nice and clean, but it's not. I got a little bit of carbon deposit on it, but welcome to a carburetor. That's why I run cleaner through it every couple of months. To be honest, just so Marvel Mystery Oil. I put some in the oil, put the rest in the gas tank, and just let it do its thing. Um, it works good. To be honest, like my engine is pretty clean overall when I do that. But it's just one of those things with turbocharging. Even supercharging would do the same thing as well. And what's worse though with a turbo is that if the oil gets low, you can starve your turbo for oil and blow up the turbo, which is something you definitely do not want. And I actually have to see like how much oil does the turbo actually take, and something that I might actually do potentially. I'm not sure if I'll do this. We'll see. Because I might actually make a oil canister under the hood and have that full of oil with a little oil with just a little pump, electric pump that feeds the turbo. The only downside to that though is um well, you do face the problem though is if that pump ever goes out, then that's a problem. But a turbo should pull oil into itself anyways. But it's just one of those deals, right? But it's just one of those things that you just have to think about some of the stuff and of what exactly I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna consult some people that have kind of built turbo setups with carburetors and what I should do, because I prefer to do a blow through setup so I can keep my air cleaner, to be honest, because it's just a cool setup and it just looks better overall, instead of going to a blow through setup. But then with a draw through setup, it has advantages in the fact that you don't really have to do too much to the carburetor. Um, and like I said, you get to retain your stock air cleaner. It's a win-win. But we shall see. There's certain things you have to do to make sure it's all sealed and everything. But you still have to make sure it's sealed with blow-through setup as well, of course. Because otherwise you have a boost leak, and then you'll leak a bunch of gas out of it, the carb, and it's just not good. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to think of what else to say, to be honest, because it'll just be a ton of fun when I get the car to where I really want it. Yeah, see, all of mine is going to be under the hood, not over it. So that's one of those things that I just want to have that sort of done that way, and it'll just be so much nicer. Um, and like something that I do want to do is, I do want to put some header wrap all along the header and stuff, and on the turbo, and just keep that heat in as much as I can, and keep the external heat away, right? And that's what header wrap actually does. That's what it's designed for. Plus, it looks really cool too when you get it. So, and like I'll wrap it myself, and we'll see how it looks, because I've never wrapped a header before, but first time for everything, right? That was a nice freaking Rockford. Well, exactly. Like, and to be honest, like you look at my car, and it looks fast, but it's definitely not. Like, I'd love to have enough power in the car to where those 275 wide rear tires actually come into play properly instead of just for looks, right? Because right now they are 100% for looks. But you know, oh, definitely. Like it's one of those things. Because right now, like I have a problem with the car, and that's due to the fact that with my car currently, I have the problem of as I lose my as I just have brain fog here. What was I talking about? Turbos and tires. Oh yeah, that's right. So problem with my car is that so those big tires out back are actually creating a problem. And that problem is the fact that I can't just dump the clutch and go because the car will bog down and die. And that's because it doesn't have enough power and or doesn't have the gearing because adding more power or changing the gearing would actually fix that problem. The only gearing thing I'd like to do is put a world class transmission in the car and have that 335 first gear instead of the 295, which I think with my tires with a 335 first gear, I actually think that that would fix my problem. Now, it might not, to be honest. I don't 100% know. It's just kind of a guess. But I know, like, if I put 373 gears in the back, it would definitely fix the problem. But I like the 355s. It's just nice and balanced. Plus, it's less money that I have to spend, too, right? Of changing out gears and stuff. Because actually, changing out that transmission actually is not that hard. Basically, all I need to do is, I'd have to remove the center console, which is not that hard because it's only held in with two screws at the moment. So take the center console out, take the shift boot off, take the shifter out, take all the bolts, the transmission, and um, disconnect the clutch cable, and then it'll all come right out. Well, that and you have to disconnect the drive shaft too, obviously, but really, it wouldn't take too long, and then swapping it to a world class or like a four-cylinder world class transmission because actually my buddy Keith has one, and I have wanted to talk to him about that, but the only thing is that I'd have to get money to refill the transmission with synchro mesh because that's just the way to go. Like I mentioned earlier, but we'll see because that would be a nice little upgrade for the car. It'd get more acceleration. It'd also get better fuel economy too, because on the highway, the overdrive instead of being 0.72 would be a 0.67. So actually, I would get, um, it would just be better overall, right? So better fuel economy, better acceleration, all that stuff. And no worry. Thank you so much, T Scott. I definitely appreciate you coming up to the live, and yeah, it's been such a fun time. You've made it just that much better, and all the people that have come out tonight, thank you so much. I don't know how much longer I'll be live for, but we'll see. To be honest, if I get a bunch of interaction in the chat, I'll keep going. But right now, I'm thinking that I might sign off here soon, but we shall see. It should be like I said, it's always a good time doing these lives, and like it's interesting because these live streams, um, I actually like don't really get anything out of these. Money wise, I make no money off of these, and actually, turns out I have lost subscribers from actually doing these live streams because it does tell me those stats. Live streams, I've lost something like 42 subscribers lifetime instead of gaining, which is interesting. And I do wonder why that's a thing, but it's a thing. But there's a lot of people on my channel that just want to see the full length videos and stuff, which is fine. But it doesn't mean you have to unsubscribe. Like, it's just me. But it's how it goes, right? But I do this for y'all, and sometimes I just do it because I'm bored and just want to chat to people, right? Sometimes I do that. Oh yeah, well, because you don't have the stats that I have. And actually, I have 2,900 and I think 23 or 24 or maybe 21 subscribers. I can't remember. But I'd have to look again. But yeah, like that's the thing. Like my YouTube Studio does give me advanced stats into if I've lost subscribers, if I gained subscribers from certain videos. And yeah, my life's just just apparently people there are people that love these live streams, but there are other people that just they can't stand it or whatever, and then they unsubscribe, which makes no sense to me. But whatever. But no, it's just one of those things. But actually, I think I'm gonna sign off here. I'm gonna probably jump on the game or something, and just have a good time. So I hope you all did enjoy this stream. I know I definitely loved doing this. And as well, like I mentioned earlier, happy Father's Day to everybody who is a father, or to those mothers that take on those roles. Well, happy Mother's Day. Anyways, thank you all so much for coming, and I'll chat at you in the next one. Peace.